Repeat what you just said about Muhammad, Jesus, and Moses.
Yes. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala Muhammadin abduhu wa rasuluhu amma ba'd. So I was, you asked me how am I? And I say I'm good and grateful. And I just got back last night from Las Vegas. I was at an event called Game On Live for the last 3 days with one of my mentors, Shamika Tankerson, who is an African-American woman, multi-millionaire business each of the last 3 years. Of course, she's been in business for 20-some years, but this is where she's at now. And it was a wonderful thing. In fact, they had a panel of 5 women altogether, but 4 of them were African-American women, and all of those sisters were multimillionaires. I'm talking 8 figures, 7 figures, right? For years. So to have access to that knowledge, and all of them, they call themselves God's girls, they're Christians, and they have their own language, right? Anyway, just to have access to their spirits and their knowledge and them sharing their experiences was pure inspiration. See, y'all, access is so important, and exposure, right? And for most of us, we don't have access to certain types of environments, right? And all of us don't have to have access to them. All Allah got to do is put one in that environment and inspire that one to come back and share with the rest of us, right? I mean, he put Imam W.D. Muhammad in the environment of the Quran, rahimallahu alayhi. He came and he shared that with the rest of us, and that transformed our lives, and it transformed our children's lives, and transforming our children's lives, right? Elijah Muhammad, right? Okay. So he put Dr. Z up here with Shamika, and I found my identity the last 3 days. And it didn't start like I came in the session and here's my identity at the table. It was a series of things that happened over the course of the 3 days, right? So y'all want the whole story, or you want me to just give you a little bit?
Whole story. What about you, Blau?
The whole story.
I want to hear it.
It's Allah's
I was on mute. Yeah.
Whole story.
Thank you. Thank you. We love you so much. So, I'm the only Muslim up in there, I don't even know I need to say that. Although I would even say all of them are Muslim in the sense of submitting to God based on what they know. Right? Mm-hmm. And their language is the Christianity language. So she's teaching. And again, I've been in her programs for a year. And she used to tell a story about, how at her events in the past, she would hold up $100 bill and she would say, who in this room wants $100 bill? And wait and see how people would react, right? And it's a powerful exercise. So she says, she's teaching and she says, does someone have $100 bill? And so our other friend, LaShawn, who also she's known as the Queen of Green. And her thing is multiplying your money for generational wealth. She gives Shamika $100 bill. Shamika puts it up on the table. She keeps teaching. So I see this. I say, she's getting ready to do that exercise. I saw it. I said, okay, I'm going to get the money today. Right? So So she teaches a little while, and then she goes and picks up the $100 bill. She doesn't say, she changed the script a little bit. She says, I went to an event and the guy held up this $100 bill. Right? She didn't say anybody that wants it can get it. She just said he held up a $100 bill. So I'm like, okay, go get the $100 bill. Right? So I get out my seat and I see somebody across the room, way across the room, get out her seat, and I see a lady in the row right in front of me, white lady, doesn't matter, but she was. She gets out of her seat. So I take a couple of steps forward, and the lady moves and she goes and gets the $100 bill. Okay. So what's the lesson here? And also, let me say that this was happening within the context of her teaching about 4 phases of business, and that there's a certain revenue that goes along with each of these 4 phases of business. So I'm like, okay, I didn't get the money, and I'm happy the lady got the money. But the whole thing about the exercise was processing what was going on inside of you in the experience. So I looked at it and I said, my limiting belief was I wasn't trusting what I saw and what I thought. Because the limiting belief for me was I'm only playing halfway. I only took a few steps. I saw what was going on. I thought about it and what to do, but my action was only halfway, so I didn't get right? But what I did get was worth more than $100 because it led me to make a new decision about myself. All this was going on before I got to the identity piece. Okay. She did teach about identity. So the decision that I made was that I trust what I see, what I think, and I'll take immediate action, and I'm taking immediate action on it. So I've had 3 days to practice that. I've been practicing it every opportunity for the last 3 days. And even the statement, has been refined since then because I've been in the action. It's all about the repetition. And so I wrote on the Facebook this morning that this was the Hajj time, that half an hour before Fajr. That I went to Game On Live event for the last 3 days with Shamika Tankerson, and I found my identity. There's Moses, the law, Jesus, the Christ, Muhammad, the prophet. And these are models that our Creator has given us for how he wants us to be and live. I am Dr. Z, the king of transformation. That's the identity piece that I came to, right? Oh, I think even before that I said, maybe after that I said that I have decided that I obey and trust what I see, think. Then I revised it because I went back to the verse that we've given you hearing and sight and feeling in the heart, right? So I said, I have decided I am obedient and trust what I hear, see, think, and feel. Think and feel. And act on it immediately with full faithfulness. That's it. Can y'all see the serenity on my face?
Yeah.
See, identity, thank you. Identity is so
Yeah.
you gotta know who you
Yes.
are, what you're here.
Yes, sir.
Now, you know, we've been in this transformation field for over 20 some years, 23, 25 years, whatever it is. And most of it was learning and assimilating other people's stuff, right? I mean, you got to learn from somewhere, right? You don't just pop it out your nose. But all of that has brought me to this moment of having this clarity about who I am in the world and what I'm here to do. And that's why I say these other programs that we have, you know, some of y'all been through them, others haven't experienced, and we're going to keep inviting you to keep coming, because in the repetition, going over it again and again, because you are different at each moment of that new experience or that time. It's not, we don't go into things like, I already know that. See, that's a problem, right? You don't already know it, you know, because the more you go over it, Allah give you a different knowledge. That's why, you know, the stuff that you all are learning, you know, when you learn something and you teach it, Allah gives you a different knowledge.
Mhm.
And you keep doing it, and it gives you more. I mean, eventually, maybe give you some wisdom too. So, you know, when you ask me how I am, that's the long answer to your question, right?
I think about the Quran. Each time we read it, you know, we've been reading it for decades, and each time we read it, if we're blessed, we learn more, we get more. God's speaking to us in
Yes.
another way that we
Yeah.
can grow at that time. So
Yeah.
repetition. And then in your book, your 25 Days to Live in Happiness, at the end, it talks about your next step. Start again, start all over.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, repeat.
Yeah. Well, they say in the business world, they say rinse and repeat, right? So we're building something here, and it's under Allah's guidance. And so this decision to obey and trust, which is what faith is anyway, right? It's like, you know, the decision, and everything is about a decision. That the way it's framed now, as I've refined it, is full circle, because it starts with obedience and trust, and it ends with faithfulness. And those are the same thing. Like when y'all, you know, I pray Allah will preserve us, and then y'all stick with us till we get to the vision that He's given us about what we're doing. Because when you're equipped to go into these Arabic dictionaries and define words, you'll see that what we call belief is actually obedience and trust. That's the definition for it. Faithfulness is obedience and trust and truthfulness and such. So, yeah, I'm just really high energy, really so grateful. So there's more to this. Tell them, Zayd. Okay. I obey and trust what I see and hear and think, and I act on it immediately. So most people, you know, we're living off of our limited beliefs that we got from somebody else or we developed in childhood. And I discovered that, we're just so blessed, right, to have the Imam. Those of us on this call out here, we're so blessed to have Imam Fahim in the wonderful intellect, heart, skills that Allah has given him. So this dawned on me. I was in Las Vegas. I was in one of the sessions, and it dawned on me. And those of you who've been in our other sessions, and I'm hoping all of you all will decide to join us. We talk a lot about beliefs. And most people are living in limiting beliefs. And our beliefs, they come to us from our parents, from our environments when we're children, the experiences that we have, what we're exposed to. And we develop beliefs about ourselves, about other people, about situations. And they cement us, they become like cement. It's like the picture of you standing in cement. And the cement's all around your legs and up to your calf. Can you see somebody standing there in cement? Maybe you don't know who it is, but can you see somebody standing there in cement with cement up to their calves? Mm-hmm. You see it, okay. And they can't move because they're stuck in cement. You see it, right? Y'all can come off mute as long as you don't have noise. I'm not gonna be talking to myself.
Yeah, we can fit you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That person that's stuck in that cement, that's you. Because the beliefs that we developed as a child that come from our parents and our environments, and the social, cultural influences that they've experienced, and them trying to deal with their own pain and their own sugar, honey, iced tea, right? Well, I look at this word belief and said, we're studying language and we know that words have root letters, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what's the root letter, the root word in the word belief? Who sees it? What is it?
Is
Life.
it live?
You lie. Lie.
Thank you, Portia.
Mm-hmm.
That's the root word right there. The beliefs that we've been operating off of, that were put into us in the child. I'm not talking about religious belief. I'm talking about stuff that happens in our social environments that limit us, that limit the potential and power that God has given you as a human being. All of those beliefs are lies. Mm-hmm. But we think it's true because at some point, your conscious mind gets everything through the five senses, right? And everything that you hear, that you see, that you touch, that you taste, and you smell as a child is recorded in your brain from the time you're born, maybe from the time you're in the womb.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hold on.
Okay.
Not yet. Patience.
Yes, sir.
Can't stop the flow in the river now.
Yes, sir.
So, because these things come to us from our five senses, and they come from these experiences in the family and society, once the conscious mind accepts it as true, it goes into your subconscious, into your heart, into your feeling world, and it's lodged there. And it begins to run, it becomes a dominant program for your life. Even though what's been coming and what the programming has been is not the truth about you. And so, yeah, we have some success. Maybe even have a lot of success. But as we continue to work with leaders and executives and people, we find out that we all have that same stuff in us. And so as the king of transformation, our role is to release that from us, because that stuff creates difficulty. And we live off those lies, and so they prevent us from reaching our full potential that God has given us and promised us. All right, so what do I want to say? So the first rung of us moving out of the ordinary model that the ordinary model most people are living in is limiting beliefs, but they're not aware of it. Transformation starts with awareness. But the second rung of it has to do, because of the limiting beliefs, then the energy is low. It's like, I don't know. I don't really want to go to this job. Just low energy, fear, stress stuff. But once we can learn a system for becoming aware of those limiting beliefs and changing them, then we can move into a higher energy. And that energy, really, one of the highest energies is gratitude. So I got inspired by one of my multi-million-dollar friends, LaShawn, to do a gratitude meditation. A few years ago, I was at another one of these 3-day training things. Not the same one, but it was for a different purpose. And Allah had put me in touch with a young lady there named Trina, who is an intuitive seer. Allah can bless people with any kind of gifts He want to give them. You know what I'm saying? So, she was gifted to be able to, I don't know how she does it, but read energy and vibrations and intuitively see things in people. So Trina told me that, and it was kind of amazing to hear, and it's maybe taking me these years and even getting in an environment with Shamika these last few days to realize the more of the evidence of the truth of what she said. But she said to me that your voice, there's something in your voice, Zay, that your voice heals the DNA in people. So we were in Costa Rica at another one of these retreats in another community that I'm in, different from Shamika's. And I'm with LaShawn and her husband, Rob. Her name is LaShawn Holland. She's known as the Queen of Green. You can look her up. Bad sister, great spirit. So we were riding, and well, she's so great. We were talking today, when we were talking the other day at the session, she was saying that she's reading this book called Sacred Contracts, and she was saying that they have a sacred contract with Dr. Z, that Dr. Z and them have we've come into each other's lives because we have a sacred contract. And I would even say that that's true for us too, for every relationship. Stay on track, Zay. Okay, so we're riding. It's the day before the 3-day experience, because I like to get there a day earlier. So they called me in the morning. They said, she texted me. And her husband, he's wonderful. We're really close. So she texted me, she says, look, we're going ATVing this morning. You want to go? I said, yeah. So we're in the car. We're going to do the ATVing. Right? It was fun, y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're in the car going to it. So, you know, I'm saying, what comes up, I have to say it. So I was like, yeah, I'm using these meditation videos. I got a gratitude meditation that I use, right? Well, he know what I'm talking about, Tahita. I got a gratitude meditation that I use. So LaShawn, God speaks to me through LaShawn. He speaks to everybody through LaShawn, I think. She says to me, because I told him I was going to send them the gratitude meditation, which I did. But we in the car driving and bringing up gratitude. She said, Dr. Z, people don't want to be hearing other people's voice on the meditation. They want to hear your voice. Right? God's speaking to me. So I said, you're right. And I told her what Trina told me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I'm inspired to create a gratitude meditation.
Right.
Right? But I think I only have access to those other meditations that I've had. So I transcribe, I have this thing transcribed. Look, this is our class Allah wants us to have today, y'all. So far.
Yeah.
So I take the recording from the 2 gratitude, because I have a second one right here you don't know about. Right? And I get them both transcribed to transcribe me. So I'm sitting down, I'm talking to my wife, right? I'm like, I think I'm going to do a gratitude meditation. But I'm thinking, I have these scripts. I'm going to use their scripts. So my wife says to me, I don't know, I may have said, I don't know if I may have played the first beginning part of one. I think I did. She was like, that's not what you're going to say, is it? Right? You got something more than that. You know, we want to hear it from you, from what your meditation is. So the inspiration right then, and again, this is more evidence. See, once you make a new decision, the evidence for your decision is going to start showing up. And you'll be able to see the evidence from the past, and then more will show up in the future.
Right, right.
So I says, so I am obedient and trusting what I see, what I think, and I'm acting on it immediately. So I stopped right then, and Spirit just took over. And I started writing down what I'm going to put in the meditation. But Allah took me to the Quran, y'all.
Alhamdulillah.
So thank you for this, and thank you for that. Then I found myself in Al-Fatiha. And those phrases in Al-Fatiha, thank you for this, and I thank you. You getting it, right? You feeling the energy, right?
Right.
And then I found some other du'as, and I thank you for this, and I thank you for that. And so, right? So I wrote all this stuff down, I just let it flow. And I decided that I want my daughter to create the music to go with the voice.
Alhamdulillah.
Because her thing is music. So I called her, told her what we were going to do. I asked her if she wanted to be in it. And I told her this is a paid project. It's not no gift, charities. I'm going to pay you for this. So she agreed. So I said, whatever comes up in your spirit, whatever it is that you feel that's in your heart, put that in the music.
Mm.
That was a month or so ago. And I told myself, I'm not going to press it. I'm going to let Allah's going to do this.
Mhm.
Right. So we talked a little bit yesterday. I sent her, we were talking yesterday, and I had sent her it was a YouTube video of advice from Jay-Z about life. And I was inspired. I sent it to her. And she says, you know, Dad, I haven't seen all these things, but I'm glad you sent it, because in the music on that, I got an inspiration for the music for the gratitude meditation.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
So now so this was last night. So this morning, I wake up at 4:11, and I just got back home. It was like 10:30, 11 last night. And so I was like, I was just laying in the bed. I didn't try to get up and do what I prefer to do. But I was awake. And so at about 5, whatever it was, I just happened to check my text messages. And I got a text from Muhsina, from my daughter. In the text, it was no words. It was the Dr. Z gratitude meditation with the music.
Allahu Akbar.
God did.
Alhamdulillah.
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 So usually, you know, that's for me. I'm not trying to be nothing or boast or nothing. I don't have nothing to boast about.
What did your soul feel
But
like?
hold on. You got to hold yourself. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So usually at that time of morning, if and this is something that started in my 20s with me and my friend Benjamin Abdul-Haq from DC. We had our families, you know, were young and growing at the same time. And we had a thing that if we woke up in the middle of the night, we would make tahajjud with each other. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was 40 years ago. So when we have energy and we try to stick with that program, and that when you go up with the angels like that, we want to maximize it. So normally that's my time. And I don't say I stay up for 2 hours, a half the night or third of the night. I ain't got that much energy. But my program is I'll do something a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Usually at that time. And then I have my meditation program in the morning. So I'm woke. I get this text from her and I said, well, you got, and I was just thinking, it's like I should get up and meditate, because it's before Fajr and I wasn't going back to sleep and I didn't feel like tahajjud. So I get the text and there's the meditation. So I was like, okay, you got to get up, meditate now, right? And I do deep breathing when I meditate. And the eyes were overflowing with tears.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
It is so powerful what Allah sent through.
Mm.
And thanking him for all these du'as. I mean, y'all will get access to it. It's I don't think it's ready for the public yet, because I gotta decide if I want to get one of my other friends on the team with us to put some graphics to it. And maybe it doesn't have to have graphics. I'm gonna talk to the team about it and see, right? Because you get these things and they have these videos, right, on there with the voice and the music and stuff. But just because they have that doesn't mean that that's what I have to do.
Right.
So we're gonna seek the guidance on that, because in
Amen.
some respects, maybe it's purer
Mhm.
without the images, but imagery is important too, though, right? So we got our brother Elijah, who's on the team, and he's a graphic guy. So
Mm.
talk to him tomorrow, inshallah, and see what we should do to make it the best we can make it. So, you know, Allah's doing what he wants. I accept my identity as the king of transformation,
Alhamdulillah.
and I have decided that I obey and trust what I hear, see, think, feel, and I act on it immediately with full faithfulness.
Alhamdulillah.
So we invite you, we invite you to follow us on Facebook, to follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're on this website, or visit universalselfleadership.com for more information about what it is that we're called to be and do in this world. And we thank you.